If you've ever said, marketing just doesn't seem to work for us, or we've tried loads of things but nothing really sticks, then this video is for you. Because when people say this, they don't usually mean nothing happened. They mean nothing happened often enough to trust. Because in most cases, marketing is working, just not in the way you think it should. That gap between effort and confidence is where frustration builds. And by the end of this video, you'll be able to pinpoint exactly where things are breaking down without guessing, overhauling everything, or blaming yourself. Hey, I'm Stephen, and on this channel, I simplify marketing so you can focus on growing your business without overcomplicating things. No hype, no jargon, just clarity. So let's get clear on what we're doing in this video. This is not a list of hacks, a platform tutorial, or try this one new thing advice, because those usually just add more noise when something underneath is off. Instead, I'm going to walk you through the most common reason marketing feels broken, why doing more almost never fixes it, the first thing to fix before you change anything else, and how to tell whether your issue is strategy, message, or expectations. So you can stop guessing what to tweak next, start fixing the right thing. If marketing has felt frustrating, confusing, or inconsistent, then this will help you see why. Let's start here. When people say marketing isn't working, they usually don't mean nothing is happening. They mean leads are inconsistent, results feel unpredictable, effort feels high compared to outcomes, good weeks followed by quiet ones with no clear reason why, and importantly, they often feel like they're the problem, like everyone else has figured something out that they haven't. That's the bit I want to remove early, because in most cases, the issue isn't effort, intelligence, or motivation, it's structure. Or more accurately, what's missing before the activity starts. In a moment, I'm going to show you the single pattern I see behind most marketing isn't working situations. And once you see it, a lot of frustration suddenly makes sense. But first, we need to clear up a misunderstanding that causes a lot of people to chase the wrong fixes. When someone says marketing isn't working, what they're usually asking is, why aren't we getting the results we expected? And that sounds reasonable, but here's the problem. Marketing doesn't work or not work in one piece. It's not a switch, it's a chain. And when a chain breaks, the outcome disappears, even if most of the chain is still intact, which is why things can feel nearly right, but never reliable. So instead of asking, is marketing working? The better question is, where is it breaking? That shift alone changes everything. So here's the pattern that I see again and again and again. People jump straight to activity, posting more, running ads, refreshing websites, changing platforms, because activity feels like progress, even when it isn't. But they haven't checked whether the foundations are doing their job. So the same issues repeat. More effort, same results, growing frustration. Marketing doesn't usually fail loudly, it fails quietly through misalignment. Things almost work, and almost is what keeps people stuck. In the next few minutes, I'm going to break marketing down into 3 layers. You'll recognize at least one of these, and as we go through them, you'll be able to tell which layer you're over-investing in, which one you're skipping, and which one actually needs fixing first. Most people focus on the wrong layer. The first place marketing breaks is with the message, meaning what people think you do before you explain it. This isn't about copywriting tricks. It's about whether someone can quickly understand what you do, who it's for, and why it matters. If people can't answer those questions easily, everything downstream struggles. This is where people say things like, We get traffic but no inquiries. People are asking loads of basic questions. Sales calls start with explanations. Or someone lands on your site and thinks, this looks good, I'm just not sure if it's for me. That's not a sales issue, that's a messaging gap. A clear message does three things: reduces confusion, reduces friction, reduces effort everywhere else. When the message is unclear, ads get expensive, content feels noisy, and sales feels pushy. And the mistake people make here is trying to communicate more, instead of communicating more clearly. More volume rarely fixes unclear meaning. The second place marketing breaks is with the system. This is one most people feel, even if they can't name it. Marketing feels busy but unstable. One week things look promising, the next week nothing. And you don't really know why. That usually means there's no system connecting attention, understanding, or action. And without a system, effort doesn't compound, wins can't be repeated, and progress feels fragile. So marketing becomes reactive. Everything resets back to zero. Before I explain why more content often makes this worse and not better, let's first look at the third layer. This one is subtle but powerful, and it centers around expectations. Sometimes marketing is doing its job, but expectations are out of sync with reality. Marketing doesn't usually create instant demand. It creates familiarity, understanding, and trust. And those things compound. But if you expect immediate sales, fast validation, and linear results, marketing will feel broken, even when it's working, especially early on. This is very common if you're comparing yourself to bigger brands, to creators with years of momentum and highlight reels, without seeing the years of groundwork that went before that. Tell me, which of these feels closest right now? 1, people don't really get what we do. 2, we're doing things but there's no system. Or 3, we expected faster results. Comment 1, 2, or 3 below. There's no right or wrong answer. Noticing it is how progress starts. This helps you reflect, and it helps me tailor future videos. Here's where people usually go wrong. They notice things aren't working, so they add more. More posts, more platforms, more tools. But activity only amplifies what already exists. If the message is unclear, you amplify confusion. If there's no system, you amplify inconsistency. That's why trying harder often leads to burnout and not growth. We're now at the most important part of the video. What to fix first. If marketing isn't working, do not start with tactics. Start with this question: do people understand us before we explain? Because if they don't, everything else has to work harder than it should. If the answer is no, the message comes first. Only once the message is clear does it make sense to build systems. And only once systems exist do tactics actually matter. The order in which you do things matters. And this is something that I break down in much more detail on another video on the channel, especially around what marketing actually is and how it differs from sales. You don't need to watch them now, but I'll link them in the description so you can watch them later. So when someone says marketing isn't working, what they usually mean is we skipped a step, we expected the wrong outcome, or we're solving the wrong problem. And that's good news, because it means you don't need to start again. You need to realign. And alignment is always easier than rebuilding from scratch. When marketing is working, it often feels quieter than you expect. Conversations get easier, sales calls feel warmer, fewer things need explaining, effort starts to stack. Less pushing, more pulling. It doesn't feel flashy, it feels stable. And that's the real signal. Once you understand where marketing is breaking, the next question becomes, what should I actually focus on first? That's what I'll cover in my next video, because priorities matter just as much as principles. So remember, if marketing has felt frustrating or confusing, that doesn't mean you're bad at it. It usually means you're being given advice without context or sequence. Marketing works best when clarity comes before activity. Get the order right, and everything else gets easier. Now, if this helped you see things a little more clearly, then remember I post videos every Monday and Thursday, all focused on making marketing make sense. So make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you on the next one.